And I wanted to tell you a story tonight that my teacher taught me and my group when I was kind of in your position. And it's a story about a young man named Tenno. And Tenno was a student of Zen. And he was a real keen student. He spent the last 5 years studying Zen philosophy and learning all of the nuances of Zen. And he was so keen that he wanted to become a Zen teacher. Now, in order to become a Zen teacher, he needed to go and visit a Zen master and take a test. So today was the day that he was going to do that. So he walked to his master's house. It was kind of a rainy day, and he was feeling a little nervous because he had no idea what this test would be like. But he took comfort in the knowledge that he'd studied well, and so with the help of his training, he managed to calm his nerves, and by the time he got to the master's house, he felt that he was ready for the test. So he approached the front door by walking up a walkway, and there were flowers on each side of the walkway, and he went up to the door and he knocked on the door, and the master, who was expecting the visit, answered the door and invited Tenno in and led him into a nice quiet room where they could sit down and take this test. And so the master began by saying, "For your test, I have just one question to ask you." And Tenno thought, one question? I mean, I've been studying for countless hours. I've come prepared to talk about, any aspect in great detail. What could this one question be? And the master said, "When you walked up to my house, you walked along a walkway." Tenno said, "Yes," a little confused. And the master said, "There were flowers on either side of the walkway." Tenno said, "Yes." And then the master said, finally, "There was an umbrella on one side of the walkway. Was it on the left side or the right?" So Tenno, not having noticed the umbrella, realized at that instant that he failed the test. And so he stood up, respectfully bowed to his master, and then he went home and studied for another 5 years. So this is a story about awareness, about zanshin, which is the Japanese term that means a heightened state of awareness. So what we're talking about is, for example, if you're in the dojo and you're training with a partner, maybe you're working on front kicks with the partner. So you're working on a task, but at the same time, you're completely aware of what's happening around you. So for example, you're concentrating on doing your best front kick, but if the instructor says some instructions and you're able to hear them and understand them, or if you're coming close to a wall, you're aware of that, so you're not bumping into a wall, bumping into people and things like that. But awareness, of course, is important, not just in the dojo, but outside the dojo, for self-defense, of course, but even just for having good quality of life. The more aware we are, the more we can appreciate the people and places and things in our lives, the richer our experiences become. And zanshin is not just about appreciating the world around us, but it's also, I believe, about being able to live harmoniously within that world. So for example, if you're watching a performance, a concert of some kind, and you're kind of needlessly blocking someone else's view, well, it's good to be aware of that, so you move out of the way, right? Or if you're speaking to someone and that person is getting uncomfortable for some reason, it's good to be aware of that. The more aware and sensitive we are to things, if we are aware and sensitive, then we're able to take steps to make things better, is what it comes down to. Does anyone have any questions or comments about that? Okay. Yes? We don't know. We don't know, actually. That's kind of the end of the story. Maybe someday they'll write a sequel. Maybe you can come up with a sequel. And that's a story I would like to hear.